Families of missing passengers, desperate for information, erupted today in Beijing at officials of Malaysian Airlines. Among the most aggrieved are the parents, who were only allowed to have one child under China's family planning restrictions. And so some of these families now are vowing to launch a hunger strike to try to force Malaysia to release more information. That woman's sign reads, "Respect life, return our relatives." Oof. Joining me from San Diego, grief consultant Ken Druck. He is author of the book, The Real Rules of Life. So Ken, welcome to you. And if I may, just watching these pictures and hearing more and more for some of these families, the word that comes to my mind is angry. How do you manage, in the thick of this, the anger with your sense of just helplessness?
Yeah, I think the anger comes directly from the sense of helplessness. We don't know what's going on. You know, if there was a finality, if there was information, people could wrap their hearts and minds around it and begin that process. But that process can't begin with all the unknowns that are around. So it's understandable that people are getting frustrated, angry. They feel emotionally flooded and overwhelmed about what's going on.
Hearing from one girlfriend of a gentleman, an American gentleman who was on this plane, you know, she has this backpack. Our correspondent interviewed her. She has a backpack. She is ready to roll not only with her clothes, but her boyfriend's clothes who was on board this plane. She says when she gets the call that he has been found, you have been through a loss with your daughter some 18 years ago. You know, your heart knows that feeling of uncertainty. How do you handle that?
You know, all of us, if we think about it, have stood in a moment of utter terror where we don't know where our child is or where our loved one is for maybe 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe for an hour, and we feel that sense of desperation. Multiply that by about 1 million for all the loved ones who are at the epicenter of this tragedy. They are overwhelmed, not knowing what to do, where to go, how to begin to hold this. And it's the nature of the beast that they don't know what to do. What they can begin to do, I think, is what many of them are doing, which is huddling up with one another and understanding that they are not alone in their feelings of desperation, and it's very understandable that they're angry, that they're frustrated, and that they're brokenhearted at this point.
That's the only bit of, you know, at least they have one another. They're not suffering by themselves. Ken Druck, thank you so much. So many theories, but really it's about these families and getting answers for them. Appreciate you.
You know, Brooke,
Go ahead.
It's a time where we pull together as families, and rather than sitting in our helplessness, we can look into our own communities for people who are suffering comparable losses. In other words, as we watch this unfold, and we all pray for a miracle and good things to unfold here, but as we watch it, we can look to our own communities with compassion and understand that there are people in our own communities who are suffering the same feeling of unknowingness, living loss, grief, and who need our love and support.
Absolutely, Ken. Thank you for adding that. Ken, appreciate you. Coming up here, we're going to continue.